Hey folks, Sandstorm here. Welcome to the fourth episode of my Grandmaster Adventures series. Now, technically, this fourth episode, I guess, shouldn't really be a part of this series, as I'm not doing a replay of a competitive or of one of my competitive games, but rather I'm doing a replay and I guess a VOD review of a fellow Moira mains competitive game. So I did reach out to the Moira community asking for, I guess, a fellow Moira main's recent competitive game so that I could maybe provide some form of constructive feedback on that and hopefully enable them to climb the ladder. And I did have a player send me their, I guess, their replay code or whatever you call that. So a particular thanks to Marauder V8 for being willing to share his replay video with me and for allowing me to, I guess, provide some feedback on this and allowing me to make this my next YouTube video. So again, a big thanks to Marauder V8, who is currently placed, or I think he's at 2,700 SR. He has been hovering around 3,200, 3,300 SR as a Moira main, but since he's been trying some other characters, he has dropped down a little bit down to 2,700. Now, he says that he struggles at lower SRs with Moira sometimes, and he says that well, at least for this particular match, he got a little sloppy, leading to a few deaths, and that this could have maybe contributed to the loss. But anyways, yeah, so that's just to give you guys a little bit of background. Again, thank you Marauder V8 for sharing this, and hopefully I can give you some useful feedback. So without further ado, let's get right into it here.
Now entering ready for battle. Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Физкульт, привет.
Let's show them how it's done.
Okay, so
I think I've got this, old man.
you guys are running Ryan Zarya, which is it's a pretty I guess
If
typical
everyone
comp for
performs their
King's Row.
function, victory is assured.
Now that said, you're running a Doomfist and a Symmetra. I'm kind of questioning this isn't really on you, but I'm questioning the usefulness of a Symmetra on attack here.
4, 3,
Okay, and then the fellow support is a Mercy, which is okay. So heals technically shouldn't be an issue here. There's a lot of healing output. Actually, hold on a second there. So right there, I would say that was probably a wasted orb. I don't know how much value you are going to get out of that. Coming out of the King's Row, or I guess entrance like that, I would just stick with left-clicking some spray rather than using up an orb there. But we'll see if anything happens with that orb. No, it just bounces away. Okay, so everything's good so far. Okay, that's a decent orb there. Okay, so I'm seeing on the right-hand side here that your Mercy is a little low. So it is sometimes hard to make that choice. Like, do you turn around and heal the other support, or do you kind of keep your focus aimed on the tanks there? Maybe if she has some better placement, maybe then you'll be able to turn around and heal her. We'll see in a second, I guess. Oh yeah, no, she does get picked. Okay, so that's pretty big. You guys are now down one of the main heals. So I guess that would have been better, I guess, there to turn around and give her a quick heal there. But we'll see what you make of it here. Okay, so you fade out. Okay. So, yeah, okay, so right now you guys are down a support, and then I realize you're kind of low as well, but pretty much now your team is without any heals, so I'm fully expecting that you guys will probably lose this fight. I'm assuming you're going to go and get a health pack here, so I'm assuming that's what you're going to do here, but by the time you go and get that health pack, and by the time you come back out again, I'm thinking the fight will already be lost. So you would have actually been better off just sticking with your team and trying to, I guess, survive or hide behind some shields, or even just use the environment to your advantage. Just try to wait out those next 6 seconds until your orb comes back up so you can heal yourself.
Clear
Yeah, so everyone's kind of critical there. And there goes your Rhine
This will improve your condition.
and your Symmetra.
Reinvert forward.
Yeah, that was a bit expected.
Power of destruction.
I found
Yeah, and that was all really because of the initial Ash pick on Mercy. So definitely maybe keep an eye out for your fellow support there. Try to make it so that it doesn't come down to solo healing.
I will rebuild you.
So far so good though.
Your strength.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, so you guys were able to get a pick on that.
Surrender to my will.
Okay, so that was a decent call, although the orb could have been a little better there. That was a decent call, just to kind of get that, I guess, that momentum going. Because I mean, you guys got the Rhine right there, and it looks like your Doomfist also got the Junkrat. So I guess just to kind of spearhead that, going on to the point there, that is a good call. The orb there could have maybe been a little better placed. Okay, so you got trapped, but that's not really on you. Okay. Hold on a second. Just gonna back up a little bit here.
Surrender to my will.
See exactly what happened to your Rhine.
This is not your time.
Yeah, so your Rhine is a little low there. He dies. Yeah, so right now you're already at full biotic energy, I guess health, or whatever you want to call that. So you're already at full biotic energy. So I would have focused more on healing there rather than DPSing. I realize that you're trying to DPS the bot down, but it's like the only reason you ever want to be right clicking is if you are going to be deleting, or rather killing, an enemy player who's already low, or you're starved for biotic energy. So maybe there actually just left clicking would have probably saved your Rhine, and would probably hopefully save your Zarya there.
incoming.
Yeah.
Reality bends to my will. I'm here.
Okay.
Power grows.
So yeah, so definitely when you're that high on your biotic energy, I would say just kind of focus more on the healing aspect and on healing your teammates, rather than on the right click.
Touch from afar.
Okay, so then now you guys are just kind of trying to pick the stragglers, so that's totally okay to right click here. Ooh, almost that mine. Okay, so that was a decent first point. Ooh, just careful. Yeah, just careful when you peek like that. In some of the higher elos, you're definitely not going to want to do that, just because you will get headshot. So just kind of careful. Just heads up for when you do get up there.
I will rebuild you.
Objective A captured.
I need healing.
Escort the payload.
I'm not sure why your Mercy's calling for healing there.
I'm going to
Okay. Okay, so not much. Oh, I don't know. He got deleted really quickly there, the Rhine. So I would say that that's kind of on him. He just needed to hold his shield up a bit better. It looks to me like this Ashe is gonna be. It's probably gonna be like an issue for you guys. But yeah, no, that Rhine just got melted real quick. Now going back to that orb though. So I just went back a little bit here.
Online.
Just trying to see what you were trying to do with that orb.
I will rebuild you.
Objective A captured.
I need healing.
Escort the payload.
Okay, so what you did there, that was a really good orb, right? So definitely for sure that was good. And then your Rhine takes a fire strike, and then just dies. Oh, okay, that was the enemy team's orb. Okay, I didn't quite understand that. Yeah, no, I would say that was definitely on Rhine there. Yeah, that was not a good play by Rhine.
I am personally seeing to the payload.
Okay, so that was a nice fade to try to avoid the pile driver by Ball. Okay, so you got good value out of that damage orb that you did there, so that's pretty good. Okay, good. You guys are able to pick off their Rhine, who is way overextended. I don't know. I guess, well, I don't know. Maybe it's like some. I guess that's game sense that players like they will develop as they get into the higher elos. But the Rhine there was really overextended, and there was no point for him to do that. He just died needlessly. The enemy Rhine, that is.
A welcome improvement.
You needed a doctor?
Don't worry, my friends. Hey,
Alright, nice. So you're sitting on a coal, so that's good. You sent an orb in there. Pretty cool.
just getting started.
I'm restoring you.
Yeah, so far so good. Okay, so can't tell if you were able to fade out of that or if that was just the Symmetra ult saving you guys there. So anyways, so I guess the enemy Rhine just used his ultimate there. I'm assuming you're probably, because it does look like it hit a few people, so you're probably going to be using your Coalesce here to try to save your teammates. That's what I would do at least.
Surrender
Yeah,
to my
okay,
will.
good.
It's been veiled in a host.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's really good, actually. Okay, good on you. You even managed to pick off the their main healer. Or Mercy, I guess. Yeah. Okay, yeah, there was a tire, and you heard it, and you faded. I personally didn't see it, so I don't know if that would have been maybe that fade was a little maybe too early. I don't know. I'm just gonna back a little bit just to listen to that again.
It's been veiled in a host.
Yeah, but great pick there. Okay, good.
Ensure the payload grows.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's get you back in the fight.
This is my will.
Yeah. Like, right, I would be focusing a little bit more on the healing. Like, for example, that Symmetra that was just in front of you. Sorry, I went back again. The Symmetra that was just in front of you just ate a Fire Strike. So I would focus a little bit more on the healing, less so on the damage. Like there, she just took, like that Symmetra, yeah, there she is. She's half health. She just took a Fire Strike. I would focus more on the healing. But good on you for trying to build that orb, that coalesce as fast as possible. And yeah, it sounds like no one's dealing with. Oh, and he goes and dies to him. Okay, that's acceptable. That makes sense if you have to go and deal with it. But see, that's the thing. So you went and dealt with that, but then your front line just died. So again, difficult decision. That dealing with that Junkrat in the back technically shouldn't have been on you, and so it's not your fault for actually doing that. I would say rather it's just your DPS aren't doing a good job of getting rid of that that threat in the back. So yeah, like I think that was a tough call, and I would be hard pressed to make that call too. Like if I knew there was a Junkrat in the back and our DPS aren't doing anything about it, but as a result, your Rhine died as well. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's a difficult choice.
Regenerating your cellular structure. I will unmake you. This will heal him a hole.
Okay, so trying to build your coalesce there. Okay, the Symmetra just got picked real quick. Okay, this Ash is pretty good. Let's watch that again.
A welcome improvement. Regenerating your cellular structure. I will unmake you.
But I mean, that's poor positioning by the Symmetra. He has no business being that far up, with no shield in front of him.
This will heal him a hole.
Yeah, so there you go. He gets picked. That's not really on you. That was more so on him. Okay, so yeah, so there you go. So that's really important. When your Mercy starts rezzing someone, you want to focus not focus heal her, but you want to pay attention to her because she's super super vulnerable. When Mercy's healing, or sorry, rezzing someone, she's super vulnerable, and that's usually where she gets picked off, and she does get picked off there. So I would have probably given a little bit more of my attention to keeping our Mercy alive. Sorry, I'm backing up a bit again just to see that again.
Regenerating your cellular structure. I will unmake you. This will heal him a hole.
Okay, so nothing you can do with that Symmetra.
Get you back out there.
Is there a reason?
Then Mercy tries to get her up. Yeah, I would. So you definitely want to special attention to Mercy when she's trying to res. Although, technically, you know what? Like, I'm not sure if you guys are in comms. She should have called that out in comms. She should have said, "Hey, okay, I'm gonna try to res. At least that way, if she gives you that heads up, then you know that okay, I should probably focus my healing on her for just a second here. Make sure she doesn't get picked off by Ashe again.
I will rebuild you.
Okay, so you're at half biotic energy. You're trying to regain. Makes sense. Okay. Yep. Okay, so that's a good healing. You're just trying to keep your team up through that. Oh. Okay, so I wouldn't have I would not have coalesced there, just because of, well, how close you guys are to your spawn. Like your spawn is like right there right now, so there was no use to use that coalescence that close to your spawn. As well, it looks like there's already been a few kills, right? So at this point, you're like, if you're using your coalescence and your entire team is I guess alive but low, then I guess that could have been okay. But you've already lost a few teammates here. So using your coalesce for the 3 remaining teammates this close to your spawn was probably a waste of a coalesce, to be honest. Oh yeah, and they also even managed to get up. Yeah, so that was 100% a wasted coalesce. Sorry, I'm saying that as nicely as possible, but yeah, just for like future reference, just keep in mind how many people are still alive on your team and whether it's worth popping that coalescence or not. Good orb there though, trying to get that recharge back.
Reality bends to my will.
This is my will.
Okay, so definitely they're gonna need a lot of heals here.
This will heal me.
Do something!
Touch from afar.
Okay, but now you're really far. I get you were repositioning, but now you're really far from your front line. And then now you're gonna have to run back before you can even get into range to heal them up again. So just something to watch out for. I get, you know, like you're repositioning with Fade and everything, but just make sure you're not repositioning in a way that really makes it so that you're actually running back before you're able to get heals back onto your team. Okay. Okay, so like you can see here, your I think that's your Mercy is low. There is kind of a fight going on. I wouldn't divide my attention between healing and then chasing that McCree that you go kind of chase. Definitely for 100% focus on healing the team fight rather than on trying to pick off I guess like a flanker or like someone who's off to the side, right? So definitely focus on healing the enemy team, or rather your team fight. Yeah, so I get that. Oh, and you send an orb in after him as well. So I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure you're not going to get a lot of value out of that orb as well. So that orb would have been better spent on your team healing them.
Injured again.
Okay, so you guys are down 2.
Pass this forward.
Okay. You're already at 100% coalescence. Or rather, yeah, your ultimate charge is already ready, so I wouldn't have used a damage orb there. There's no point, especially when you guys are down. Like, your orb there is not going to get really anyone. It's not gonna. I mean, even the damage it deals is gonna be negligible and is gonna be healed up really quickly and easily because their entire team is there. So I would have probably used that orb more to heal I guess the remaining front line that you have there.
Surrender to my will.
Oh, okay. I would not have used Coalescence there. I didn't actually know that you were gonna do that. Yeah, I definitely would not have used Coalescence for the same reason that I had mentioned previously. You guys are down 2. Their entire team is full health. They're all up front. They're all here on the payload. You've only got a Roadhog as a front line, so you're not going to get a lot of value out of this Coalesce, I would think. Oh, okay, you guys managed to get Mercy, luckily, but
Enemy seen.
yeah, I don't think that would have. I'm just gonna back up a bit. Oh man, this is gonna be a very long YouTube video. I'm so sorry. I just want to look at this again. Yeah, I would have. Yeah, I don't know. There's not much of a front line there. I definitely would not have used Coalescence there. Although you guys get lucky and you manage to pick off the Mercy. And it looks like the enemy Moira used their Coalesce as a result of you using yours. So
Enemy seen.
okay, flanking McCree.
Regenerating your cellular structure. A touch from afar.
Okay, so you managed to pick him off. But you still have a front line going there, so I'm not sure. So I guess something that I had mentioned already was try to make it so that even if you fade to reposition, you're in a safe spot, but you're not that far from your front line. Like your Roadhog there, I don't know if he dies or not. Okay, he does die. So then that's starting a stagger on you guys. So definitely try to fade in a way that makes it so that you're still close to your front line, while still being safe. But yeah, that was you probably could have kept up that Roadhog. I think.
Teleporter online. We need to keep the payload moving forward.
My will made real.
Your side is run.
Fire at will.
It feels to me like you might be even like playing a little too far behind. I don't know, like I know you want to be safe, but it feels like you're playing too far behind, because if you play too far behind and you actually have to move to be able to like start landing your heals, because Moira's heal is a projectile, right? So from the second you click it, there's going to be like I guess a little delay before the target that you're aiming at starts getting healed. So there's already that you have to account for. But it also feels like you're also playing a little bit kind of behind, which means that you actually have to move up to be able to heal your teammates. So when you combine those two, there's kind of a delay in when you notice someone needs healing and when you're actually able to start getting heals to them. So I would say just try to scoot up just a little bit so that you're playing just a little closer to your front line. And I get that it's a little harder with this composition because you don't have a shield tank. So I get that, but you want to still try to I guess use your environment to the best of your ability. So there, maybe try to be hiding behind the payload. That way you'd be able to reach that Zarya up there. Okay, so like there, that when you started spraying, you were not reaching that Roadhog. I think right now you're at 15 meters, so I think that Roadhog might be finally getting some heals from you. I'm not really sure on that just yet. It looks like there's a plus there. But when you did start healing him, you weren't actually close enough to start healing him. Sorry, I just backed up a little bit to get another look at that.
We need to keep the payload moving forward.
My will made real.
Yeah, so like there it feels like right there, at least from what I can tell, it looks like you're just barely out of that 15-meter range to be able to heal those two people up there. So just try to kind of scoot up just a little bit.
Fire at will. Do something.
Yeah, like there you're definitely not in range of that Roadhog, for sure, 100%. So again, it's just about scooting up a little bit. Okay, yeah. Okay, so there we go. So that was again that you have to watch out for your fellow support. Your Mercy, sorry, I keep backing up again. Again, I'm very sorry. This looks like it's going to be quite a long video, but I want to be as detailed about this as possible and try to help you and anyone else watching this video as much as possible. Okay, so Yeah, you're trying to heal this guy. Okay. Okay, but see, your Mercy should have called out that they were trying to res Zarya, because then you could have at least focused a little bit of the heals on her. And in the meantime, it looks like their Mercy actually went behind you guys and rezzed. Yeah, she rezzed the enemy Reinhardt, and that's how he flanked you guys like that. Okay.
When faced with a setback, we must challenge our assumptions.
Delays, McCree.
She'll pay more.
I'm taking care of you.
Allow me.
Okay, but good on you for trying to get some of that charge in, and apparently it helped get that McCree.
Reality bends to my will. Heroes never die.
Yeah, see, like it looks like you're just a little too far.
This
Okay,
is my
good.
will.
Okay, so you're coming up on Cole real soon here. But you're also starting to get low on biotic energy. So at this point, you want to be as close to the payload as possible so that you're right-clicking enemies as they're kind of trickling in and coming in so that you're able to regen your biotic energy. So that's probably where you want to be. Like right now, you should probably be right behind Reinhardt, like right at his back.
Surrender to my
Oh,
will.
okay. Wait. I didn't know you were gonna pop Cole there. I'm not seeing the reason to pop Cole. Now the enemy Moira pops Cole as a result of you popping Cole. And it looks like you actually do manage to get her off, like you pick her off here. So I'm just gonna back up a bit and take a look at that again.
This is my will. Regenerate
60
cellular
seconds
structure.
remaining.
Surrender to my will.
Yeah, I think that was lucky. It looks like the McCree might have gotten a shot on her. I would say wait for, like, there wasn't a clear engage there. I would say wait for a clearer engage before popping your Cole there. Yeah, like see, like your Cole didn't do too much there, other than get, I guess, 57% of that Moira's health, which enabled you guys to pick her off. But yeah, and also your Roadhog is like, I don't know what your Roadhog is doing over there.
I pass this forth. Your strength fades. You see
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's a good pick on Mercy.
the power of destruction.
Step rider.
Oh, okay.
This will heal you. Allow me
Yeah.
to repair the damage.
Okay, so you were just kind of turning to make sure that that wasn't there, McCree, I guess? Okay. Yeah, good pick. Well, okay, so at this point I would maybe... I get that, but I also saw that you had a lot of your team that were, I guess, critical just a second ago. So I'll just back up a bit. I would have maybe focused healing them over
Step
the kill on
rider.
Mercy. Especially because the kill on Mercy will take you 4 seconds, at least. So,
Allow me to repair the damage.
yeah, it looks like they do end up getting them. Okay.
Become Parula.
10 seconds is my
Okay, yeah, like, okay, I get that. Mercy's really almost dead. Oh, okay, she pops her ult, gets away. Okay, but see, there you're too far to heal anyone, right? So just careful with your fading to reposition.
This will heal you. Surrender to my will. Welcome in.
Step
Okay,
rider.
that's a good call to try to kind of force it. Yeah, I get that.
I pass this forth.
Okay, that's a good orb too. Okay, that's good.
Heroes never die.
My will made real.
Okay, that was a good pick too.
Oh, you the delay.
I would say just careful because the your guys' tracer kind of was just in front of your screen and he was really low. He was critical while you were picking. I think it was Mercy. So again, I understand, but I would prioritize again keeping the team up over the pick.
Cast this forward.
So let's see that again. I backed up again.
Stand for the hills.
I'm on fire.
Heroes never die.
My will made real.
Yeah, like see that there. Your tracer was almost dead.
Going into the ledge. Touch from
Okay.
above.
Okay, so yeah, not honestly, this first round was not bad at all.
Score
Maybe a few better coalesces.
3. Switching sides.
Like yeah, so like maybe don't waste too many of those coalesces because I felt like a few of those were kind of wasteful. Yeah. No, so far it's okay, and I guess maybe like just the spray. Just remember that your healing spray is 15 meters. Just a few times there, it looked like you were trying to spray them from further than 15 meters. And then I guess finally, yeah, no, I think that's really it. Just the coalesce and then the spraying from 15 meters. Oh, and the repositioning with Fade. I would say just work a little bit better on the repositioning, so that you're not like completely out of the fight and then unable to provide assistance to people on the front line. Okay, so I'll just skip forward 20 seconds here.
Ready for
Okay.
battle. 5, 4, 3,
Okay, good. You're trying to get that.
1.
Okay, so
Incoming.
sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. I actually try to recently, I tried to actually throw it under the bus. Throwing it under the bus at just the right angle makes it so that it bounces into their front doors. So I don't know if you get charge out of that. Okay, you don't get charge out of that. Okay, your Rhine is really far up, and there's like no one close to him. So that's not really good as well. Yeah, you guys don't even have a Zarya, so okay.
Here comes Karula.
Okay, yeah, okay, so there you go. The Rhine just died. So that was kind of his mistake. He should have a little bit more game sense and kind of notice, you know what, no one's behind me. You know, like I probably shouldn't be holding that far up. Maybe I'll hold somewhere like between the statue or like right to the left of that statue right here. That was kind of on him, but also kind of on you guys as the supports. You could have, like, from this angle right here where you're standing, which is by far the best place to stand as Moira in this first point, you could have gotten heals to him, so that was kind of maybe a little bit on you as well, but also on the Mercy, because she could have also stood there as well and also gotten heals on him. So it feels to me like, I don't know what happened there, but there was just no lack of communication and no one realized that Ryan was trying to hold, I guess, that far up, but on his own, and he didn't get any backup. So actually, from this, I wouldn't be surprised if they take the point right from that. I don't know yet, but we'll see.
I require assistance.
Okay, so knowing that your Rhine is gone, I would have probably hung on to that orb, because now you don't have any shields, which means that your team is about to take probably a ton of damage. So I would have hung on to that orb rather than throw it out as a damage orb. Just a heads up. Okay, yeah, see, like there, that could have been useful for you to try to get back in there. And I see a few people up here low as well.
Get into position. Injured again. An ominous portent.
Okay, so yeah, there you go, that orb. But you're getting really low on resources here.
Recharge.
Okay. Okay, so that's good. There was a healing orb there. Yeah, she's low. Okay, that was good. Yeah.
Surrender to my will.
Okay. I get that. You get a pick on Mercy, sure, why not? I get that.
I'm on fire. You'd be wise to stay out of my sight. I've cast
Okay,
this
nice.
forth.
No downtime on that orb. Good on you, that's good.
Charge. Got it.
My will
Okay.
made real.
Okay. Dwarf actually could have gotten some better coverage, I guess, with that ult. Like that, his ult can definitely cover more than that. So, but that's not really you. So that's not really.
Heroes never die.
Not sure how much value you're gonna get out of that damage orb you just threw. Probably a healing orb would have been better there. Or maybe waiting until people actually started taking some damage. Okay, you guys get lucky with Deadeye though.
I cast this forth. The power of destruction.
Yeah, like, see there? I wouldn't be that far away from the front line. Like, there you're too far from the front line. Like, if Ryan starts taking damage, you're going to have to run up to him first. Or, I guess, not run up to him, but you're going to have to close that a little bit more, a few more meters, because you're definitely more than 15 meters away from him right now. You'll have to close a few meters, like maybe 5 or so, before you start shooting. And then by the time you shoot, and then by the time it reaches him, like, you've got, you know, quite a bit of a delay in how fast you can get heals onto him. So I would just say that you're a little bit far from the front line there. Just try to scoot up again a little bit more. Yeah, like right from here, you're not gonna reach Ryan. Okay, you got your Cole coming up. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That was a decent Cole. Wait, hold on. Okay, so that was a decent Cole, but it looks like you used it to damage rather than heal. So you 100% always want to go for the healing over the damage, and it looks like you actually end up losing 2 members of your team on the left here. Okay, so you... Wait, what just happened? Why did we lose? Sorry, gonna go back again. It looks like we lost... Yeah, so Ryan is there. Ryan is low. There, Ryan is low. Oh, he gets a little bit healed up again. Okay, but you go and try to pick off the... what is that, the Moira? Yeah, that's the Moira. You're trying to pick off the Moira in the back, but on the left-hand side here is where the actual fight's happening. And I would have... If you focused your coalesce on your team there, they wouldn't have died. So you guys lose... Yeah, you guys lose your main frontline tank. You guys lose Reinhardt there. So definitely always healing over damage.
This is my will.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and then... Oh man, that Mercy, man. The number of times he's died trying to res. Sorry, I backed up again just to take a look at that again. I really hope he's communicating in chat, trying to say, you know, I'm going to try to get the res on Ryan, res on Ryan, res on Ryan, you know, like, to let you know.
This is my will.
Because, I mean, there wasn't a clear way for you to know that that's what he was going to go do, so he needed to communicate that. I'm hoping that he is communicating, but, yeah, he does get your Ryan up, but now you're down to 1 healing again. But you're full on Biotic energy, so that's good. Okay, but as the only... So there you go. As the only healer there, I would have focused on using a healing orb rather than a damage orb there. So maybe that's also something you can kind of just like, you know, as soon as your other healer dies, no more damage orbs, only healing orbs. But yeah, so you know, everyone's gonna get low. Yeah, so there goes your Ryan again. Assuming he hit someone else with that. Yeah. Yeah, see? So... Sorry, I feel like I come back to this a lot. The repositioning with Fade is okay, but make it so that you're still able to assist your team. Because there, it looks like McCree dies. There was nothing you could do for him. Like, I get you were low, but look, your Dwarf is up there, and your McCree's up there, and you want to make it so that you're giving them the best chance of getting out, right? Because obviously this is, you know, like this is lost, you guys have to get out of there. Give them the best chance of getting out by still keeping them in your line of sight and still trying to keep some heals on them. But, I mean, Dwarf there going down, you couldn't have done anything about, but that McCree there, you definitely could have done something about.
Your support has arrived.
A touch from afar.
Okay, so good. Using the orbs on
Beside you.
on cooldown. I would just say maybe check out those angles that you just threw at, just to see and make sure that it actually does make it to the payload. In one of my other videos, actually, I do show you a nice angle that you can shoot your orb at here. That makes it so that it does go all the way to where the payload is right now.
Come out and face me! I'm overloading!
Okay. Yeah, he used his ultimate there, so I guess that fade was justifiable. That's fine. Okay, wait, that fade was not justifiable. If you're able to fade out of that pile drive and not take the damage, that's awesome, because then, you know, less damage on you, and then you're also denying him some ult charge, so that's good. But right here, you were actually already very well positioned, like no one could really hit you there, so I guess fading out of that was probably a little useless, and I guess you're just putting your fade on cooldown unnecessarily, so... Which is actually very like punishing in the higher elos. As soon as Moira's fade is on cooldown, that's like one of the first things people call out. You know, Moira no fade, Moira no fade. So then, you know, if there was a tracer on their team, and you know he was kind of playing the flanking, he could have thrown a pulse bomb on you there or something like that. Okay, so I would have actually thrown a healing orb towards the rest of your team there, because they were all kind of like, if you take a look at the top here, Mercy was half health, Ryan was definitely half health, so I would have used more of a healing orb there rather than a damage orb.
Surrender to my will.
Oh wait, what? Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna back up a bit just to get a sense of, just to get the flow right before you use your pull here.
This is my will. Surrender to my will.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know why you used your ultimate there. It didn't look like the fight had really started just yet, but I don't know.
Power grows. The power of destruction.
Okay, good. See, that was nice. You tried to keep your Mercy safe and healed when he was rezzing. That's good. Okay, but now you're kind of low on biotic. Okay. So again, when you're low on biotic, avoid the damage orbs too much. Yeah, so now you're almost out of biotic. Okay, your orb just came up off cooldown, so that's good. Yeah, but see, you can't really do much. You couldn't do much for your Ryan there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So maybe some... Wow, that pause though. So maybe some better resource management, I think. Just keeping in mind, you know, if you're low on biotic energy, try not to throw out a damage orb, because then what are you going to heal with, right? So maybe just something like that. If you maybe applied that a little bit better, that maybe you could have been able to save your Rhine over there. I don't know if you actually managed to get heals off on this Torb right here. So again, it's that idea of, are you playing too far back, or... Okay, I'm just going to back up a bit and take another look at that. Yeah, like you were probably getting, yeah, there you go. You were probably getting some heals on him right at the end there, but maybe not for that full duration of your spray.
I will rebuild you. My power grows.
I'm with you. You should be at peak performance level.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
I cast this forth.
Honestly, I don't know what your Rhine is doing. He just wasted his entire shield for nothing. Sorry, I went back again to take a look at that again.
You should be at peak performance.
There's no point, like there's no point. I don't know what he's doing, but he just literally goes and gets his shield melted, and that's it.
Oh, excuse me.
I cast this forth.
Yeah, there's no point. There's... okay. Yeah.
Join with the Yeshu.
Okay, looking for that Pharaoh. That makes sense. But see, look how far you are now.
Surrender to my
Okay.
will.
So you pop Cole, I guess, to try to save him, but I don't know how... Yeah, see, that was not an effective Cole, right? Sorry, I went back again. I'm assuming you popped Cole there to try to keep your Ryan alive when you realized how far you are from him. Yeah. Because other than that, nothing else was happening, right?
Surrender to my will.
Yeah, so that was 100% like, I think that was a wasted Cole, to be honest. Do you get her? Wow, okay. Well, I guess... You know what? I would say that was kind of luck. I would have definitely hung on to that Cole. Just because there was... You want to use it on as many targets as possible, and right now, right there, there was no real target. If it was to keep the Ryan alive, that's just something you're gonna have to work on doing your when you fade. Just get better positioning where you're not completely away from the front line, and then just picking that Ashe. Like I promise you this, in the higher elos, that doesn't happen. Like not like that at least. Especially in the higher elos, if they have an Ashe and a Mercy, like 90% of the time that Ashe is going to be getting damage boosted, which means she'll be able to one shot you, right? So I would just say careful on that, and maybe just some better coalescence use from what I've seen so far. And actually, I wonder if that's not going to cost you a fight here. Are they gonna? Oh, but see, there you go. Again, you're really far from Ryan. Although Ryan shouldn't have charged in like that. That was also on him.
Helden sterben nicht.
My will made real.
Justice reigns from above.
Yeah, that's good.
Heroes never die.
This will heal you. This will restore you.
This is not the end.
Tell me how this feels.
You need to
Allow me. Touch from afar.
Okay, so far it's okay.
Here it comes.
J'aurai mahol.
Got it.
Okay, I really like that you're always trying to get as much, I guess, value out of your orbs, though. To be honest, like you're doing that really well. Like you're not sitting on an orb for very long, and you're using it, which is good, because it gets you that ultimate charge a lot quicker. But just a few, like from what I've seen, a few times a healing orb could have been better than a damage orb, and yeah, vice versa.
Get in there, Bob.
But at least you're not wasting potential ultimate charge. Okay.
This is my will. Gale the mahol.
Yeah, but yeah. I would say play closer to the payload. Sorry, I backed up again. Play closer to the payload and use it as a shield. Especially because now you guys don't really have, I guess, a real shield. Because there, your Winston
This is my
looks like he's diving. I mean, he does dive. He gets, yeah, like he dives and gets that Mercy. But then, as you can see, like right up there, your Roadhog is using his ultimate, and he's low health, and you're not able to help him out as much. So I would say just kind of try to keep the. And then there you go. There goes your Winston as well. So play closer to the payload there, and use the payload as a shield, right? And just play around the payload, because then that way you're actually able to get heals onto your two tanks who both died up there without really getting any heals.
This will heal you.
Okay, there's nothing you can do. What? Okay, so I was hoping you weren't gonna do that. There's not much you're gonna be able to get out of just coalescing on your own like that with nothing else, and even the Reaper goes in and gets a kill on your Ashe there. I would have waited until you had a few more teammates out before using that, right? Because I mean, Cole, when you have a lot of your teammates with you, is actually quite like it puts out a lot of pressure, but on its own, it's nothing. And I'm assuming that with the way this payload is coming in, most of these people are actually probably just going to go and hide behind the payload. Yeah, see, there you go. So they go and hide behind the payload. Oh, wow. Okay, I have to be honest with you. You do get lucky quite a bit with these coalescences. Because, like, I guess you said you were a diamond, but now but right now, in this game right there, you're playing in a plat level, like, or rather your teammates are all plat, and so is the enemy team. So I guess this can happen in a plat game, but I think even you would say from personal experience that, calling a full team that is able to hide behind a payload and actually still getting a kill is highly unlikely, even in Diamond. So let alone Masters and then GM, right? So yeah. So just my 2 cents on that. Don't use your coal like that, just because it does put out a lot of pressure it does put out a lot of pressure when you've got your team with you. But if it's just you versus 6 of them, and especially with the payload coming in like that, and they're just able to hide in a straight line, there's just no point. It's a wasted coal, right?
Science saves the day.
Okay. Like, see, I would have probably used it there or something, or I can't tell. I don't remember if that was your bob or their bob. No, that was their bob. Yeah. There's not much you're gonna be able to do about that. Okay, yeah, they do take. Okay, makes sense. Okay, skipping forward a little bit.
Just like in training.
Ready for battle.
Okay. Okay, so back to Rhinsaria. May. Oh, that's nice.
2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Okay.
Defend
That's nice. You anticipated that incoming damage and started getting your heals out on them. That's pretty cool. Oh, okay. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Wait. You might have been able to save the Zarya there. If you played that out a little bit better,
attackers incoming.
you might have been able to
Defend objective.
save her. I would have hung on to that orb first of all, just because you. Okay, so you know that one of your tanks is now behind that wall, so you know that you're gonna have, like, your priority right now is to try to save that tank. So I wouldn't have used a damage orb there. I would have used a healing orb, and I also would have probably hung on to it, or even tried to get a better angle, or even try to see if you're able to break down a little bit of this May wall and able to get in your orb in there as well as a spray. Like, that together is humongous amounts of healing, right? Orb plus spray, which means you could maybe keep that Zarya alive. See, like right there, if you had your healing orb and you kept spraying, she probably, and I guess also that's kind of on her as well for moving out of your line of sight. But that, he wouldn't know. He's not looking behind him. You might have been able to save him though, or at the very least, if you had your healing orb, you could have bounced it off the statue there. Yeah. Okay, but then you guys do the same. It looks like to their wall. Okay. Okay, and your mercy gets her up. Okay, that's okay so far. Nice dodge on that fire strike. Okay.
I'm taking the powerful.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's okay so far.
10 seconds.
Surrender to my will.
I get you guys are going into overtime, but I don't think that coal was necessary. Yeah, I don't think that coal was necessary. Sorry, I'm backing up again. Because you pretty much had the objective. Most of your team, if not all of your team, so I wasn't even keeping track of. I think your entire team is there. Yeah, your entire team is there. And you've gotten recent picks on their team, so you know it's not going to be a full-on 6v6 for a long time. So even with their Reinhardt coming in like that, I would have not used Coalescence. I would have hung on to Coalescence, especially because you're about to go into overtime, and you will likely not have enough time to build another coalescence for another team fight before the fight is decided, or before this round is decided. So I would have definitely 100% hung on to Cole there. But you do manage to get the Mercy, so that's kind of nice as well. Oh, and you get a res. Nice. Okay. But now it's overtime and you don't have Cole. So yeah, definitely 100% you wanted to hang on to that Cole. Okay. Okay. There's no point, right? You're in overtime now. So if you're in overtime, you definitely don't want to expose yourself to any unnecessary, I guess, damage or, chance of dying, which is what happens here, right? And your Mercy just used her res, so I don't know if it's even up yet. But yeah, like, this is one of the worst things that could possibly happen, is that your team is in overtime and they lose one of their supports. So as a support, and I get you were 100% trying to get your orb there, but I don't know, I would have done it a little safer, just to avoid getting picked like that. In probably like Diamond, as you've been, and in Masters, and then in GM, like, you show your head like that, you're done. Like the Widow, Flick Wrist, whatever that's called, and headshots you, and it's game over for you, right? So maybe just something to get in the habit of not doing too much. But let's see what happens. How far do you guys push on this? Okay, so their team, I don't know what's going on in their comms, but after that pick, and after that wall, I would have called for everyone to just engage. It's a 6v5 right now. Even if your spawn is really close, it's still a 6v5, and if they have the numbers advantage right now with 6 people, and especially because you're actually a support that's gone, so that's a lot of healing that's not there, they could technically turn this fight around and win it before you're even back to start healing. So that's what I would have called on their end. I don't know if that's what they'll do. They look like they're playing a little defensively. That's not what I would have done.
When faced with a setback, they must challenge our assumptions.
Okay. Yeah, so he flanks there. Oh, okay. May ult kind of helps you guys. Oh, I would have, yeah, I don't know. I would have hung on to that orb, used it more as a healing orb rather than a damage orb. But I think I've talked about that quite a bit. So I'm assuming you guys lose it here. You guys are all kind of down. Yeah. Okay.
When faced with a setback,
Okay.
they must challenge our assumptions.
So yeah, maybe a healing orb.
Score
Some more
3-4.
healing, and as well, I noticed that you actually faded into. It looks like you faded into the front line, or
This
let's
will
take a look at
restore
that again. Okay, you faded because you're trying to get away from that bomb. Okay, yeah. Okay, that makes sense, but there, that entire duration there. Sorry, I'm going back again. There, you should have been trying to heal up your team, and not DPS the Ryan that's frozen or anything like that. But that bomb 100% was in the way. But like, see, right here, you should be healing, which is what the other Moira is doing. But yeah, so as a result, you guys all kind of get low, and yeah, you do end up losing it. So yeah, just maybe
Round 3.
having a better grasp of when you're supposed to be like healing, I guess, and when you're supposed to be damaging. Like there, it was definitely a time for you to be healing. I'm just skipping forward here. Okay.
Defend objective A.
I'm restoring.
Man, you're taking. Oh my God, your team is taking a lot of damage, especially the Rhine. He's taking a lot of unnecessary damage, which is probably why you've actually exhausted a lot of your 3/4 of your biotic energy is already gone, just healing up unnecessary damage.
60 seconds.
That's not your fault though. But... Okay, now you're almost out of biotic energy. Yeah, healing orb. Okay, good. Okay, trying to get it back. That makes sense. Oh, yeah, Just careful. Okay, yeah, that's good. Another healing orb. Okay, that's good. Until you're able to get your biotic energy back up.
Surrender to my will.
Okay, see, there you go. Oh, actually, 2 mistakes. Okay, hold on. I think you probably already know what I'm gonna say. Which is that Coalescence was unnecessary. The fight was already won, right? As well, you've only got 40 seconds left of defending.
Surrender to my
I would have
will.
100% held that coal for the next fight, right? Because this fight was pretty much won. Okay, like they were pretty much retreating, they were leaving, you know, like there was kind of no threat. I would have hung on to that and used it for the next fight. Because you're probably not gonna build another coal in the next 30 seconds, right? That's the first mistake. The second mistake is you're running at this Hanzo who's got his bow drawn, and you're running at him, or not running at him, but you're, I guess, moving in front of him in a way that's very predictable. So you're just moving in a straight line. So don't ever do that, because as soon as you start moving in a straight line for just even like a second, people are able to kind of, you know, like predict, oh, his head is going to be at this point on my screen in the next 0.5 seconds, and that's where they're going to like start or aim and let that arrow go, or whatever you want to call that, and then gets a headshot on you, and then you die in the middle of your coal. So especially, and this is more so for characters that can one-shot you, like Hanzo and Widow, don't move towards them or in front of them in just one straight line. Try to just zigzag as much as you can.
Gales on the hull.
Heroes never die.
30 seconds remaining.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that was a tough call. Like, I know... sorry, I went back again. That was a tough call. I know that you saw a lot of people low,
Surrender to my
and you're like, should I kill them, or should I
Gales on the hull.
kill Ryan? See, your Ryan is low, right, really low right there. I get that.
Regenerating your cellular structure. I am optimized. I pass this forth. Tell me how this feels.
Yeah. It looks like that guy's trying to... Okay. Okay, yeah, a little bit more of support love here for your Mercy,
Regenerating your cellular structure. I am optimized.
because he dies unnecessarily and then becomes
Pass this
1v2.
forth.
And I assume you guys are gonna lose it right there, then.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, see, your Mercy's low right there. You should have done your best to try to heal her as much as possible. Okay, good. So it's you guys are even now. Oh, you were almost full on biotic energy there. So I would just say focus more on the healing rather than the DPSing, because your Zarya almost died a few times there. Oh wow, that's unfortunate. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Oh wow, that Ashe really cleans it up for them. Holy smokes. Oh, that's too bad.
I faced
Yeah, if you guys had won that right there, like if it wasn't for that Ashe right there, you guys would have won this game. I'm assuming they actually do push. I think you had said that you lost it at the end, so I'm assuming they do push
Objective
past.
lost.
power of destruction.
Stop the payload.
Okay, and you did manage to get another coal, by the way, so that's nice. Okay.
Allow me. Take cover.
But see, like right there, you're so far from your team. There's nothing you can... You will probably have to fade to be able to close that distance to be able to start healing them. And you guys are in overtime, so I would say this is really not good positioning. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna pop? Oh, okay, you're gonna pop your coal. I'm arguing you might have popped your coal a little too early there. Although it's I see it's 2.61 meters away, but the fight still hadn't really started, and a lot of these other ults that are being popped popped after yours, right? So there's an advantage to popping your ultimate after another person has used their ult, because their ult is going to run out before yours does, which means that for that duration of time where their ult is down and where your ult is still up, your team has the advantage. So try to not always be like the first one to use your ultimate. Try to use it like as a, I guess as a, I guess as the way the other team is using it. Like a lot of these other players are just hearing you use it first, and then they're like, okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna pop my ult as a reaction, right? The longer you delay that reaction, the greater the advantage in the enemy fight, right? So if, for example, the Moira pops their ult and they're like 5 seconds into their ult before they start getting value out of it, and then that's where you're like, okay, I should probably pop my ult. That means that their ult is going to die sooner before yours, and then you're going to have 5 seconds of Moira ult after, which is going to give your team that huge boost slash advantage at the end, right? So that's what you want to try to aim for. Here, I'm thinking you might have popped it a little too early. I'm just going to back up a little bit here. And also the positioning could be a little bit better. Yeah, definitely 100% the positioning here. Like, you could have been to behind McCree there, in that little alley behind there, and you would have been able to heal all 5 of them with your spray, which then would mean that you could have delayed popping your Moira ult right here. And the more you, like I said, the more you delay that, the better. Like, see that? All of that could have just been healed with just the spray. Okay, so let's see what happens. Okay, so I would have used that as a healing. Yeah, I would have bounced it. I would have bounced it in a way, like maybe against the 2 walls right here, in front of you and behind you. I would have bounced that in a way to try to get as much healing value out of it, because this is definitely going to just be a sustained fight. Like, whoever can out-heal the other one will win. Oh no. Oh man, that Ashe got a really big nade right there. Yeah. Oh, and, okay, yeah, you guys are done now. There's no way you're coming back from this. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so that was the I guess that was the match. That was a very long match. That was 26 minutes long, and then with my commentary, this video is probably over an hour long. I am so sorry, guys. If you're still listening, hats off to you guys. That's amazing. Okay, so let's, Mr. Marauder V8, let's talk about, I guess, some of the things that I've noticed in this, and I think that you could, that would probably give you the best, I guess, the best improvement on your ability to climb as Moira. So first of all, one of the major things that I noticed was just better coalescences. It feels to me like a lot of time you're using the coalesce too early or unnecessarily. So a few times I had mentioned that throughout the video that you didn't need to pop coal there. You could have hung on to that for a better fight later on. Now, like, I understand that you don't want to be sitting on your coal for too long, but there were certain situations in this fight where the fight was already won, and there was no need to pop coal, but you pop coal. So that definitely could be one of the major things that I would say could use improvement there. As well, to try to use the coal to heal, because a lot of the times, not a lot of them, but some of those times, I saw you mainly focusing on trying to DPS with coal, as opposed to heal teammates. So definitely focus your coal on trying to heal teammates, at least at this elo, I would say, rather than DPS. And I think that just by doing that, you're going to already see a huge improvement in your games. Your orbs are, okay, I want to say your orbs are in general pretty good, but a lot of times you were using a damage orb when it should have been a healing one. So and I think that's where Moira's true strength lies, is that she's able to put out massive amounts of healing. As a Moira, you should pretty much always have gold healing, no matter what, unless for some odd reason which really shouldn't really be happening, but unless for some odd reason you just spend a lot of the game dead, or you just get like really unlucky and, like, you know, a whole bunch, you know what I mean, right? Like, if you get really unlucky and you might have like a Mercy on your team, or the other sports an Ana, or a Mercy, and they're just playing their hearts out and you spend a little bit of time dead, then maybe there'll be gold damage. But other than that, as Moira, you're 100% should always be gold damage, and that's where Moira's true strength truly lies. So I would say that some of those damage orbs that you threw out, try to consider those more as heal. Like, try to think of using more healing orbs and maybe a little bit less damage orbs, and I think you might be able to get a little bit more out of that. And then I guess the last thing that I would say, and I think this one, like once you get this one down, you're gonna see a huge improvement. And this kind of all ties in together. Uh, a lot of times you're spraying, but you're way too far. Like you're too far. You're more than 15 meters away from the people you're trying to heal. That ties into how you're using or how you're positioning yourself, which then ties into how you're using your fade. Okay, so those three are together. The way you use fade, your positioning, and then your spraying. If you get that under control, I have no doubt in my mind that you're definitely easily going to get into Masters and potentially even rise up to GM. That could take a little bit of time, but I think it's possible. I think you absolutely have that like base there, but you definitely 100% need to work on those last three. So fading, positioning, and the distance at which you're spraying, because a lot of times you're too far from the front line. You're too far from when people start taking damage, and by the time you walk up to the people, by the time you get into that 15-meter spray range, by the time the projectile leaves your hand and reaches them, that's a lot of time. You know, like that's up to like 1-2 seconds of time, right? And this is Overwatch, so a ton of things could happen in a second or two, right? Like, and we even saw it. We saw your Reinhardt getting like clipped like so quick and just getting melted, right? Before we even knew that we needed to heal him, right? So that's I actually think that that's probably, if I was to choose between the three that I mentioned, I think that is going to be your biggest area of improvement, or the area that needs the most improvement is where you're using your fade, or how you're using your fade, making sure that even if you're repositioning yourself with your fade, you're not like really really far from the front line, or you're not really really far from teammates that could use your healing. And then based on that positioning, or being able to position better, you should be able to close that 15-meter spray gap, okay, or at least get into that 15-meter spray gap, okay. So I think that last bit all comes down to positioning. You're gonna have to work a little bit better on your positioning. Just as a rule of thumb, honestly, just be right behind your shield tanks. If there are shield tanks, be right behind your shield tanks. If you don't have shield tanks, then try to use the environment to the best of your ability to position yourself in a way where you're not out of reach of your tanks. Because that's something that I saw a lot in this clip, was your tanks were, a lot of your times, your tanks were dying without getting heals, or were dying from, and they were getting like really bare minimum heals. You have to be a little closer to the fight, you have to be a little closer to the action, and if that means that you have to be hugging Reinhardt a little bit more, or hugging the payload and using that to hide a little bit more, then absolutely do that. But other than that, I think those are really it. Like if you nail down the positioning aspect and how you're repositioning with fade, and making sure that your spray is always within that 15-meter range, I think you're going to see the biggest improvement from just that. Once you've got that down, there's no doubt in my mind you're pretty much at master level already, okay? And then using your coalescence is better, and maybe getting a little bit better with when to use damage orb and when to use healing orb, in my opinion, that'll push you to high masters, maybe even GM. That's what I think. So yeah. Anyways, this was a super long video. Guys, I am so sorry that this was such a long video, but even if it was this long, I hope it was useful. I hope it was helpful. Marauder V8, again, thank you so much for letting me take a look at your replay. Please, I hope you didn't find any of my feedback offensive. Please understand that that's not at all my intention. If I sounded like, if my voice got excited or something like that, it wasn't because I was being mean or anything, just because I was right in the action. Like, you know, I was just thinking about it and I was getting really excited about the action. So you'll forgive me if at any time during this video I sounded like I was mean. Please understand that's not at all my intention. Again, I really hope that this helped you in any way. Again, guys, this was a Plat Moira play, or a competitive game that I just did a review of. Hopefully this will help you guys climb up and, you know, reach Diamond and Masters, and then hopefully GM. Alright, that's all I've got for today, guys. Thanks again. I hope this was useful. Take it easy and stay tuned for episode 5.